of 2012. We made it by January of 2012, the 200, made 228.7 million, and then we started continuing the relationship. And I said we needed some incentive for Rotarians to go out there and raise additional funds. And so we changed the match from $1 to $1 to $1.50 to $1, and now we're $2 to $1.
$2, yeah.
So 2 to 1. So if we raise $50 million a year, and we spend that on the eradication of polio, then they will give us. Last year, our year ends in June the 30th every year, as you know, Governor.
Yes.
So we made the $50 million. So in January, they will issue us a wire transfer for $100 million.
Wow.
And then we disperse that through grants, WHO and UNICEF, $50 million in just last week. We'll do $50 million in January, another $50 million in June. At the same time, we're trying to raise $50 million so we can get another 100.
Isn't that something? Well, President John, I am very grateful for your time with us.
Oh.
This is the first segment. We're going to come back more and visit with other Rotarians from different places of the world.
Okay.
You know, we are fortunate to have you here.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
It is, and you know, a privilege for us to have you here. So thank you for this moment. We're going to go now to the next place. But we want to hear from you more. And we'll come back in just a little short time.
Okay.
Okay? Thank you, President.
I'm here to serve, so.
Thank you so much.
I'm a member of the Rotary Club of Cali San Fernando in Cali, Colombia.
St. John's, Newfoundland and Labrador in Canada.
RC Magboro Newtown Provisional, Ogun State, Nigeria.
Basel, Switzerland.
Kingston, Jamaica.
From Medellin, Colombia.
In Mauritius.
I live in the city Marília, Brazil.
Oshawa, Ontario, Canada.
Red Sea Coast, Egypt.
Rotarians in Brazil are committed with polio eradication. We organized Telepolio, a fundraising initiative with the testimony of Rotarians, polio ambassadors, an expertise panel, and an amazing entertainment.
We also have Pints for Polio events happening across our district. The St. John's East Club is going into their 4th year holding this event with a local brewery.
My club will be organizing a Rotary Polio walk to keep polio at 0 level.
We are organizing a Let's Kick Out Polio online event with speakers from WHO, UNICEF, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, and our Rotary International president.
Artists from all around the world sending their work for make this exhibition, to make a promotional banner about the fight against the polio.
We'll be co-hosting our 3rd annual live stream World Polio Day 2020. We will be updating our live audience with Rotary's efforts to end polio now.
A 35K fundraising cycle ride to end polio now.
There will also be a virtual donation campaign for the Polio Plus Fund.
This year we are celebrating a polio-free Africa with influencers, leaders, and people from the media together with awesome speakers.
With this animal, we are making happy 1 kids at the hospital. On the other hand, we save 5 kids from polio.
The African region has been declared wild poliovirus free. Yes, but there's still a long way to go.
We want together to show how Rotary contributed in the eradication of polio and how vaccines play an important role in combating the disease.
But for now, let's invite our friends from District 2830 in Japan with Dr. Sekiba, Governor 2000-2001. He is the leader of Team Japan for the efforts in India for polio immunizations, and our past district governor, Dean Jackson, supporting us with translation to English.
Well, it's great to be here today, and really excited to have Dr. Sekiba with us. The exciting thing is he's great in English. I think he's going to be able to make his own presentation, but I had the opportunity to be with him in 2020 on their latest, the last time prior to COVID that they were able to be in India. So Dr. Sekiba, thank you so much for joining us from Japan, and we look forward to having you share with us about the work that the Japanese Rotarians have been doing to eradicate polio, particularly in India.
Yeah, okay. Thank you very much for inviting me to this special occasion. Thank you very much. So can I share the, I'd like to share the PowerPoint.
Yep, you should be able to just.
But host does not allow me to use it.
The host is not, on the PowerPoint, the host needs to allow you to do that. Okay, we'll have them do that for you real quick. While we're waiting, Dr. Sekiba, can you just real quickly kind of talk about how many years the team's been working in Japan? I mean, from Japan to India?
22 years.
22 years?
Yeah, so from the, 2000, yes.
Wow.
So, it's still.
They're working on it.
I can't share the PowerPoint.
You can?
No, I cannot.
You should be able to.
You should be now. They just turned it on, so let's try it again.
Oh, okay, now, okay,
All right.
okay.
Sorry about that.
Yes, okay, now. Okay, so hello everyone. Greetings from good morning.
Good morning.
From midnight Japan. District Governor Jose Velasco, past District Governor Dean Jackson, my fellow Rotarians, it's a great pleasure to be able to speak to you about our polio eradication activities in India. My name is Yoshi Sekiba, the leader of Team Polio Japan. In January 2001, 22 members from our districts, including Rotarians, Rotaractors, Interactors, and their families, visited India to participate in National Immunization Day, NID, in Delhi for the first time. The man on the left in this photo is me. The woman next to me is my beautiful wife. Every year since 2001, we have participated in NID in India, and the number of participants has increased year by year from all over Japan. I'd like to show you some photos of our activities. They are high school students who participated in the polio rally the day before NID. Oh, she is a Rotarian from Japan. This is her first time to give the polio vaccine to her children. You know, in Japan, only doctors are allowed to give vaccine to children. So, of course, she is the first time to give vaccine to a child. She was very nervous, but she got used to it. Now she's okay now. Oh, he visited India for 5 times. Now he's okay to give a polio vaccine to children. Yes, so yes, she's also visited India so many times. Oh, this is his first time, so I'm now coaching how to make it. In India, wild polio virus cases were over 200,000 before 1978. Since NID was introduced, the number of wild polio virus cases has dropped dramatically. No polio case since 2012. This 3-year-old girl is Ruxa. She is the last polio case in India. She contracted polio January 13, 2011. Polio-free was declared in 2014 in India. We celebrated it. I was invited to the ceremony and honored by the government of India. We need to keep polio free after the eradication of polio in India until polio is eradicated from the whole world. We still visit India every year to give vaccine to children in India. I'd like to tell you about our youngsters who are Rotaractors and Interactors. After returning to Japan, they told their friends about the deep emotion they felt through their activities in NID. Their friends want to participate in the polio vaccine campaign after hearing it. Nothing moves people like sharing a real experience. We are this close to eradicate polio on this planet. My friends, as individuals, there is only so much that we can do. But if we cooperate and share through Rotary, nothing is impossible. Let's go forth for eradicating polio. Imagine polio-free world. We'll be able to see the smiles of many children there. I want to thank you again for the opportunity to speak to you today, and I wish all of us God's blessing. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, Dr. Sekiba. We really appreciate you taking the time, and I know it's the middle of the night for you to be able to join us, and so we're very grateful to you to come and share. And as I mentioned before, it was a privilege to be with you in 2020, right before COVID kind of shut everything down around the world. I'm understanding that there's a good opportunity. We may be heading back over there in January, and if that does happen, we will look forward to being with you. Thank you so much for all that you do to help us eradicate polio, and for the opportunity of fellowship and friendship we have with you. Have a great, great evening.
Thank you. It's my pleasure. Thank you very much.
Rotary has been working to eradicate polio for more than 35 years, and we've made incredible progress in the fight to rid the world of it forever. As a founding partner of the Global Polio Eradication Initiative, we've helped to reduce polio cases by more than 99.9%. It's crucial to eradicate polio from the last two countries where it remains endemic, and to keep other countries polio-free. If all eradication efforts stop today, within 10 years, polio could paralyze as many as 200,000 children each year.
Be a part of history. Donate your funds. We're close to eradicating polio, but we're not done yet. We still need funds to continue immunizations and surveillance efforts. Your gifts will get us closer to the finish line. You may donate your time. Ending a disease is a massive effort, and Rotary and our partners can't do it alone. You can join us in our efforts to end polio by being a part of World Polio Day, October 24th each year. Or donate your voice. We need your voice to help us end polio now. Our resource center at Rotary International has materials such as social media messages and sample press releases.
It is time to see the current results of our donations. Our donations are starting to show $420. I think that is great. That is a start. Thank you for giving, and start giving more. There's a lot of time, time to give. So give generously. Thank you.
be stationed before.
Rotarians all over the world share a unique passion for taking action to improve their communities and the world. Where others see problems, we see solutions. This is our chance to show others how Rotarians see what's possible in their communities and to highlight what we can achieve when more community leaders join Rotary. Go to Rotary.org and visit the Brand Center for materials and support and guidelines on media plans. And if you have further questions regarding People of Action, go to pr@rotary.org.
It is time to hear more from our special guest, President John Germ, with our District Governor, Jose Velasco.
Your story.
Huh?
This John, thank you very much for coming back with me.
Sure.
So now that we have all these viewers, getting more information more and more, through the years, there has been something I think is very important for many of us in Rotary, which is your story. The story of how you connect with the polio eradication and your passion for that eradication, I think to me is exactly the flagship of why we should be so passionate about it. Would you please share that story with us?
Well, there's two parts of the story. The first part of the story is that I was asked to help raise some money for our first campaign to eradicate polio. And it reminded me of two things. One thing that it reminded me of was the fact that there was a vaccine available that we could help keep children from being crippled.
Mm-hmm.
Why were we not able to get to that vaccine, and why were we not able to get to the children of the world and give them those precious drops? The second part of the story reminded me of my father. I was in college at the University of Tennessee in Knoxville. I came home for a break, and my brother and my daddy were over at the Tennessee River fishing. And we lived about, I guess it was a half a mile, so they'd walked over to go fishing. And so I was at the house, and my brother came back, and he said, "Daddy can't walk."
Oh, wow.
And said, we got to get him home. We didn't own an automobile.
Uh-huh.
So we went over there and got Daddy home. And the doctor came to the house. This is back when doctors visited your house.
Yeah.
So the doctor came to the house, and he examined my father, and he told him that, you've got polio. You've got all the symptoms of polio, and probably you're going to end up being crippled, and you'll never walk again. Well, we're of German descent, and stubbornness comes in our way of life. And so my father said, yes, he would. So back then, they ironed clothes with an old steel iron that had a handle on it, and you put it on a hot stove to heat it up so that you get enough heat in there to iron it before all the modern steam irons and all that kind of stuff, you know.
Correct.
So my father was laid in the bed, and he had my mother get a rope and tied a rope around his ankle.
Uh-huh.
And then the other end of that rope was around the handle of that iron. But the iron would never touch the floor.
Wow.
So my father sat there for days, weeks, and months, raising his leg up like this.
Wow.
Because it would never touch the floor. And he eventually walked, went back to work. Wow. One leg was always smaller than the other leg. Because of the muscle loss and everything.
Yeah.
And I kept thinking, why? I really hadn't thought about my father's story much until we started talking about that. And I thought about putting those two stories together. Why do we have to have crippled children? Why can't we do something?
Yeah.
And just recently I was in Tuskegee, Alabama. And this is the third part of the story.
Mm-hmm.
Tuskegee, Alabama, and it's a mainly all African-American black community. They had the Tuskegee Airmen during the war and everything.
Yeah.
And I was there to help dedicate a statue of a doctor, a nurse, and a child. I had never heard of the fact that back when polio was rapid in the United States and everything in the 50s, that the rumor was that a black person could not get polio. Well, that's not true. But they couldn't get into the hospitals. So Tuskegee, working with Dr. Salk, came up with working on some vaccine, and they actually made some artificial limbs, and I think we're going to show some later in the show. But that is a vicious virus that's out there.
Yeah.
There's 3 viruses, type 1, type 2, and type 3. Type 2 has been eradicated, type 3 has been eradicated, and type 1 is still out there. And we've got to reach all the children in the world so that we can say, everybody's we have to vaccinate about 400 million children every year.
Wow.
Because I don't think we need to have more stories like my father's, or like the little baby that can't walk because of polio.
Mm-hmm.
We don't need that. Yeah. And Rotary with our partners can solve that. We can do things to make that better. And we should.
We should.
We owe it to the children of the world to do that.
Yeah. There was something that you mentioned where we were talking aside, that you said, it's not just about doing a vaccination. It's generation after generation that we have to be preventive about.
Right.
So why is that?
Well, until polio is 100% eradicated, it's a plane ride away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And most recently in New York, we have a case that came in. It's the same genesis as the case that was in Israel, that was in the case, the same one in London.
You were able to track it.
You can track it through the DNA process. Science is wonderful.
Yeah.
So you can track it through the DNA process. This person had not been vaccinated that got it in New York.
Yeah.
So he was in touch with some dirty water. The virus was in the water. Somehow or another, washing his hands or touching something in the bathroom or whatever, we don't know. But we do know that it's a vicious virus that can cripple and maim people when there's no need for that. And so until we get rid of all of it, we have to do it. And we're spending roughly between $950 million to $1 billion a year for the next 6 years. By the end of 2023, we say that there should be no more wild polio virus or vaccine-derived virus. And by 2026, it takes 3 years after the last case, then we should be polio free.
See, that's something that is impactful to all of us, because aside from everything, there is people that they believe that one vaccine should do it all. But also having the new children coming into the world, that's a different perspective.
Well, in 1900, Jose, in 1985, there was about 120 million children 5 and under in the world. And that's how we set the target for $120 million back then to help raise funds.
Wow.
Because that way we could reach every one of the children.
Yeah.
And I asked somebody one time, I said, would you ever think that the people are still going to have kids? And you have to keep going back to the same kids, because once they're vaccinated, they become vaccinated, but you still have to repeat it.
Yes.
You have to keep going back because you want to be sure they remain vaccinated. Because that vaccine goes into your gut, and if you get dirty water or malnutrition or anything, it just flows right back out.
Yeah. See, as with many viruses, we definitely see how that impacts society, and Rotary continues to work in all these countries. I mean, we're in 206 countries, so we should be able to get there. In the next segment, we're going to be touching bases in the different matters, what it is globally.
Oh, okay.
You know, and some of the questions that we're going to be going is exactly to the infrastructure and the challenges that we face here and there. In the last few years, we have faced, you know, a lot of things like the pandemic, the challenges of people not believing in vaccines. But what I want to believe, and what I want everybody that is, you know, attending today, is I want them to believe in what we are doing. You know, the effort of the eradication and the value that it has. So,
well, you know, there's a value that very few people talk about. That value is the economic value. Can you imagine what the cost is for all the governments in the world to provide vaccinations for children when we know there's a way to cure it, and what the cost is? I mean, we're talking about several millions of dollars per year that can be used for other things versus providing vaccine. The real value is a child that is able to walk, play, have a healthy life.
Yeah.
The economic value is just, to me, is just a sideline to that.
Yeah.
Because, you know, without a healthy child, you know, it just tears the family apart.
Well, I think that will be a great conversation to have in the next segment, because I know the questions are coming up. So, John, thank you so much.
I don't know the question, so you got an advantage.
I will be with you with the questions.
You got an advantage of me there.
John, thank you so much. We'll come back in the next segment. Thank you.
Now it is time to visit with our friends in the UK in London with President Barry Hackett from the E-Club of District 1070. He is a recipient of the Rotary Foundation Regional Service Award for a polio-free world. President Hackett, would you please go ahead? The stage is yours.
Thank you very much. Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Well, hello, District Governor Yosei, all Rotarians and communities at large. Thank you, District Governor Yosei, for your kind invitation to join in with this exciting event. My name is Barry Hackett, President of the E-Club of District 1070, and I'm speaking to you from my home in the beautiful Welland Valley in England. And I've been asked to talk about this Rotary Polio Plus program. I'm now going to try and do the screen share, if that's okay. Hold on a second, I've got to get out of that and start it up again. My apologies. Okay, I can't hear any feedback, so I'm not sure what screens you can see. So I'll just have to keep carrying on. The Rotary Polio Plus program is an audacious, ambitious program to eradicate polio, as we've already heard from President John Germ. So if you're not already a member of Rotary, what is Polio Plus all about? Poliomyelitis, or polio for short, is this dreadful virus that John has been describing.
President Hackett, excuse me, we can't see your screen.
You can't?
No.
Okay.
And we'd love to.
Thank you for interrupting, because I really couldn't tell.
I know.
So
we'd love to see it.
I'm going to try it again.
Okay.
Just hold on one second.
We're good. Your experiences are amazing, and we really appreciate you being with us.
Okay, and can you see the full screen now?
No, I can just see you, which is a pleasure, I might add.
Right, okay. Hold on a second.
The world of technology.
We're nearly there.
We are.
Now, how about that?
Oh, yes. Perfect. Thank you. That's great. Continue,
Okay, well,
please.
that's me. So we'll press on pretty quickly now, because I've lost a few precious minutes.
It's all
so good. The program, as John has already outlined, was originally to start by promising to vaccinate all children of the world, and the program morphed into eradicating, and that was the new aim. We must remember there is no cure, only prevention. And as has been described, two researchers, Albert Sabin, invented the oral or live vaccine, and Jonas Salk, the injected or inactive vaccine. And this plan was started in the early 80s. So the Polio Plus campaign started in 1985, and at that time, 365,000 children per year in most countries of the world were affected. And today, there are only 2 countries classified as wild poliovirus 1 endemic, namely Pakistan and Afghanistan, with only 33 cases of acute flaccid paralysis, or polio, in the world. Remember those figures, 33 cases today against 365,000 in 1985. So this story is a terrific Rotary story, because it's a perfect example of international coordination, working together with public and private organizations, and it is the largest peacetime operation the world has ever seen to improve not only the fight against polio, but routine primary healthcare as well. So what one person can do is magnified when working together in a united force. For example, in 1966, past Rotary International Director Neville Hackett secured over $80 million from the UK Prime Minister John Major. He and his team repeated the international advocacy, and by the end of 1999, there was $200 million committed by the UK government for Africa for the National Immunisation Days. Very recently, our own current District Governor of District 1070, Steve Howe, who is also a director of Rotary in Great Britain and Ireland, and more importantly, an esteemed founder member of our own club, secured £100 million from Priti Patel the then Secretary of State for the Department of International Development during 2018-2020. And this wonderful picture, where John, you can see yourself in that picture, I'm sure, John Germ, where you announced the United Kingdom's pledge. And I rather believe you're standing next to a certain Bill Gates. So Rotary members have contributed colossal amounts of money over the last 30 or 40 years. And 3 billion children in 122 countries have been protected. We must not forget Rotary's advocacy efforts in the way I've just described that have made substantial contributions too. Just remember, in the UK, a child of the age of 14 will have had 5 routine polio inoculations. That's about 54 pence per vaccine, or around about 50 cents, I guess. A child in an area of poor nutrition and who is disadvantaged will need more vaccines to stay safe. And we must remember, as has been said, if the polio campaign stopped, it would only take 10 years for there to be 200,000 new cases per annum. And we do know polio is only a plane flight away, and New York has seen its first case for decades this June. So what happens in India? Well, our Japanese Rotarian has already outlined his wonderful experiences. And the United Kingdom concentrates also on India. And there are a few figures here which are really quite staggering. And 172 million children under 5 are inoculated in 2 days in our campaigns. That's some performance. 709,000 inoculation booths and health centres are manned. 2.5 million vaccinators, most are volunteers, but not all. And because a vaccine has to be kept cool in order to be effective, there are 2 million cool boxes that have to be used. The poverty in India is unremitting, but the spirit and determination of this beautiful country is breathtaking. And we have heard polio has been free. India has been polio free since 2014. So what can you do as an individual if you are looking to either join Rotary or if you're looking to join in with the campaign? Well, you can do your own thing by going out to join in with a National Immunization Day. It's a life-changing experience. And this is my wife and I when we went to India in 2016. You can also raise funds in different ways by, for example, keeping fit. I do my best, and you can see me on my bicycle here in a triathlon in the London Triathlon. There are swimathons and a whole host of other activities that can be carried out. Don't forget to advertise. We are rather good at being very modest, and it's all part of advocacy to tell the story of Rotary. We need to share the story and share the benefits. And I urge everyone to look at these books by Sarah Gibbard Cook, Rotary and the Gift of a Polio-Free World. These volumes have been commissioned by Rotary and are only available through Rotary by contacting Amy Edwards on this email address. If I pause there just for a second so that everyone can write it down, but I'm hoping it's being recorded. Volume 3 is ready, but cannot be published until after there is a certification of eradication. And that can only happen 3 years after the last case of polio. So we must fight on. So what else can you do? Well, if you're not already in Rotary, join Rotary. What a wonderful opportunity it is to experience interagency collaboration, to join cause and commerce, and doing good in the world together with like-minded communities is a rather nice thing to do. So join up. And the End Polio story is one of the best stories to attract modern people to Rotary. So in summary, choose your cause. Let's hope it's Polio Plus or End Polio Now. Then decide how to volunteer your time. in advocacy, do it yourself, or just contribute your volunteer time with activities like National Immunization Days. Above all, tell this wonderful story. Thank you.
Your experiences, President Hackett. We really appreciate you taking the time for being with us. And we do understand that you have other engagements to attend this evening there in the UK. We look forward to hearing further of your success, and we thank you so much for your service in the eradication campaign. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much.
It is time to take a moment and change gears a little bit. We have a talented local artist with us today, Miguel Mendoza, an inspiring guitarist, and he will be performing for all of us. We invite you to join us in welcoming him.
Thank you so much. This bouquet of paper roses from all the stories that you love. This favorite page is dipped in favorite colors. This bouquet fits you like a glove. May all this witchcraft and spells that haunt thee breathe life into your fantasy. Gonna make you this bouquet of paper roses, hoping you see me trying to see you. Gonna make you this bouquet of paper roses from all the stories of your life. The good and the bad ones, chasing the moons and the suns, 'cause we don't know beauty without strife, beauty without heartache. You step in the earthquakes from all of the power in your soul. Gonna make you this bouquet of paper roses, hoping you see me trying to see you. Gonna make you this bouquet of paper roses from all the songs you listen to, all the majors and minors and lyrics with fire that lights the spark that lives in you. And you scream loudly when no one write you this bouquet of paper roses from all the songs I'd write for you. I can't write love letters, I'm not great with my words. If you hear my voice, you'll know it's true. You're the muse in my music, your smile's therapeutic. And though you're far from me, I know I'm gonna make you this bouquet of paper roses, hoping you can see me trying to love you. Thanks, Shell. That was one of my originals called Paper Roses. Yeah, I'm going to do this one now. Hope you like it. Take off. Hope you like it. Maybe I could stay for a little while. I'm not a permanent fixture in this blanket of stars. I am born of stardust and a pocket of smiles, with some stories to tell, converting light years to miles. You may not feel the waves crashing beneath your skin, or how to take a loss and turn it into a win. When God closes a door, he leaves open a window to the next wave. My spaceship's nearly out of rocket fuel, and all this to last. And I don't want to look back and see it buried in my past. My spaceship is nearly out of rocket fuel, and all this to last. And I don't want to look back and see it buried in my past. Let's take off. Let's take off. Yeah. I could write you a song, make it 3 minutes long, fill it with your favorite words so you sing along. Write this catchy melody so we can hum this song to the moon. My spaceship's nearly out of rocket fuel, and all this to last. And I don't want to look back and see it buried in my past. My spaceship's nearly out of rocket fuel, and I want this to last. And I don't want
Thanks, everyone. All right, I'm going to do this last one called Sugar. I hope you guys like it, and yeah, let's build it. By the way, I'm looping everything live, so that's why I keep looking down.
and color. And as the night goes, it cools in black and white. Your eyes, they're as hot as summer. And as you drift to sleep, it starts to feel like fall. 'Cause you're the sweetest nightmare that I'll ever dare to dream. I could be the coffee to your cream, 'cause you're my sugar. You're the sweetest nightmare that I'll ever dare to dream. I could be the coffee to your cream, 'cause you're my sugar. You're my sugar. Your soul, oh, it's as cool as this campfire. If I beg this bird on the wire, would it fly me back to you? 'Cause your voice, oh, it sings with kindness. No matter what note it hits, it's so much sweeter than mine. 'Cause you're the sweetest nightmare that I'll ever dare to dream. I could be the coffee to your cream, 'cause you're my sugar. You're the sweetest nightmare that I'll ever dare to dream. I could be the coffee to your cream, 'cause you're my sugar. I'm so glad that I've been nobody. You've always been nobody's darling. We'll spend till 5 a.m. on speeding freeways, listening to all your favorite songs, the ones that shake your bones. 'Cause you're the sweetest nightmare that I'll ever dare to dream. I could be the coffee to your cream, 'cause you're my sugar. You're the sweetest nightmare that I'll ever dare to dream. I could be the coffee to your cream, 'cause you're my sugar. could be the coffee to your cream. Oh, baby, give me some sugar. Thanks, Shell. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Family of Rotarians.
Yes. Yeah, my grandmother and grandfather back home in Quezon City, Philippines were
Amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And now we're getting you in.
Yeah. I guess.
You are talented. Your feet are amazing as well.
Appreciate
I
it,
might
yeah.
hands and feet.
Yeah. Just
Fantastic.
trying to do the thing.
We were back there clapping and dancing, so I appreciate it. If people want to hear your music, where can we find you?
So
you're incredible.
Thank you, I appreciate it. Everything I'm doing right now through social media, so MIG like Mig, like Miguel, PXL like Pixel. I'm currently in the process of recording everything mainly because, yeah, a few things kind of happened and hiccuped. So I've got about like 27 originals that I'm working on recording. It's a process. Trust.
No, I know. I can see it's a process.
Yeah, it is a.
It's a good dance.
Yeah,
no.
pretty much.
You are amazing. You just added a whole new element to this fundraiser. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Amazing.
Appreciate you for having me.
Well, while you're here, I'm going to give a great update because we got a $1,000 donation from a past district governor in Utah, Jim Banks. So we want to thank him. He's an incredible Rotarian. So we want to thank Jim Banks, past district governor of 5420 here in Utah, for his $1,000 donation for our polio telethon.
Thank you, appreciate it.
And thank you, Miguel Mendoza. Look for his music. Wonderful.
So this is just in too, Krista. One of my really good friends, Sandy Schwartz, is down in St. George, Utah, and she is doing a ride to nowhere. She's on her Peloton doing 100 miles. She's on mile marker 58 in her living room, and she has raised $4,120. So thank you, Sandy.
Fantastic.
Thank you, Sandy.
She's going to have jello legs.
Yes, absolutely. And beautiful music.
Thank you so
Beautiful
much.
music.
Appreciate it.
Thank you for giving.
The push to end polio is one of the most complex global health efforts in history. The partners in this campaign have overcome complicated logistics, immunized people in migration, and responded to unforeseen challenges. This is a legacy to be proud of. But we are not done yet. Wild polio remains in just 2 countries, Afghanistan and Pakistan.
मेरा नाम यूसरा है मैं पोलियो वर्कर हूँ सुबह सवेरे पहले मैं उठती हूँ नमाज पढ़ती हूँ उसके बाद घर की सफाई वगैरह करती हूँ सफाई करने के बाद फिर मैं नाश्ता तैयार करती हूँ मेरे साथ जो मेरी वर्कर है वो मेरे पीछे आती है हमारी गाड़ी है हमने अपने लिए की हम उसमें बैठ के तो हम में आते हैं आ जाए बाजी अंदर आ जाए अस्सलाम वालेकुम खैरियत है बाजी बैठ जाए आ जाए बाजी
ये जो वैक्सीन है ये हमारी बमरोज जो हमारा हॉस्पिटल है वहाँ होती है हम फिर वहाँ से तो हम लेकर आते हैं सुपरवाइज़र की हैसियत तमाम जो वर्कर्स हैं हमारे पोलियो में काम करने वाले मैं उनको सारा लॉजिस्टिक का तमाम यानी कि सामान को मुहैया करती हूँ उनको यहाँ तक के पॉइंट पे बैठने का भी मैं बताती हूँ कि इधर बैठे क्योंकि इधर रश ज़्यादा है इधर ज़्यादा काम अच्छे तरीके के साथ फ्रंट पे हो सकेगा
Historically, the highest number of cases has always been along the Pakistan-Afghanistan border in both countries.
There seems to be tremendous progress, very positive development this year. We have seen the last WPV1 case in both the countries in January. Since then, there's no child who has been paralyzed with wild polio virus in both of these countries, which is unforeseen, unprecedented. So we have to have a cautious optimism at this stage.
स्पेसिफिक मोमेंट कम में मतलब काम चल जाएगा, ठीक है।
मेन बॉर्डर है, यहाँ पे ये पोलियो वैक्सीन करना इसलिए ज़रूरी है क्योंकि यहाँ से लोग आते भी हैं और जाते भी हैं।
इनका आना जाना लगा रहता है, खुशी गम में, यानी कि अक्सर लोगों के रिश्तेदार पाकिस्तान में होते हैं, बाज़ के अफगानिस्तान में, तो इनका तो हर वक्त का आना जाना है।
So we have a cross-border vaccination strategy which is between Afghanistan and Pakistan. And so the program has identified all these border crossing points, has deployed cross-border vaccination team from both the sides, from Pakistan side as well as Afghanistan side.
हम अपने पाकिस्तान से प्यार करते हैं क्योंकि अगर ख़वातीन फ्रंट लाइन पे काम नहीं करेंगी तो ये जो ख़वातीन है ये हमसे मिस हो जाएंगी।
यहाँ पे आसपास हमारे बहुत से सिपाही होते हैं जिसकी वजह से हम उन्हें देख के खुद को महफूज साबित करते हैं और हमें पता है कि हम लोग यहाँ पे महफूज हैं।
अगर हम पहले से रोकथाम ना करें तो जब बच्चे मजदूर हो जाएंगे, हमारे बच्चे काम नहीं करेंगे, तो फिर तो वो मुल्क तरक्की कभी भी नहीं कर सकता।
It is time to hear from Mexico. Joining us today, we have past District Governor Oscar Montano, Del Club Guadalajara, International from District 4140 in the center of Mexico. He will speak about the magic of Rotary, bringing benefits to the communities we serve.
Buenas tardes tengan todos ustedes.
International from District 4140 in the center of Mexico. He will speak about the magic of Rotary, bringing benefits to the communities we serve.
Buenos días, tengan todos ustedes, amigos rotarios. Un abrazo muy fuerte al gobernador José Velasco, a John Germ, y desde la tierra del mariachi y del tequila. Les mandamos desde Jalisco un fuerte abrazo. Hoy les voy a platicar un poquito. Me tardaría horas y horas hablando de cifras y cifras de todo lo que ha hecho Rotary Internacional para lograr erradicar la poliomielitis. Pero yo voy a hablar de algo muy especial, lo que es la magia de Rotary. Y todo empieza como la amistad como ocasión de servir. Todo en Rotary.
In Rotary, we're friends,
Proyectos para
and we try to find projects to try to serve and try to change our communities.
Una amistad de
A
California
friendship of California
y
Chuck
Bricia, Delaware.
and
Me
Bricia,
invitaron
Delaware. They invited
allá
me one time to California, and they tell me, "Hey, we have like a fire truck that we want to give away, and we have a community that they haven't had a fire truck, and they always have fire."
servidor.
And from that moment, we had the occasion to go for that fire truck. It was not an easy task, but we
Uno
had
era
two challenges.
175,
First, we had a truck of 1970,
75 no tenía
and that
papel.
fire truck didn't have papers. The owner
No sabía dónde habían quedado después de tantos
didn't
años.
know where those papers were,
Servir a la
but it was a good truck that would serve the community. In this picture
Estoy
that it
tomando
appears, I'm taking an intensive course of how to use a fire truck because we didn't have the documents
cruzar ese
to
Teníamos
to
que
s-
tras
take this truck.
hacer un viaje muy largo desde
We had to
California,
take a long trip from California to Texas. That
aproximadamente
this was 2,000 miles.
que teníamos
It
que
was a
tomar
big challenge that we had to take in that moment. Rodolfo, my president, and I,
comunidad.
we said it's all for the community.
Esta gran
And we
aventura
take that task, this adventure, to take this journey
Bernardino,
from
California.
San Bernardino to New Laredo, Texas.
Buen amigo que me iba a
I had
ayudar
a friend there. It was helping me to take this truck because the fire truck didn't have papers. When we started this journey,
muchas cosas en el camino.
we
Dijimos,
had different challenges during these trips, and then we started.
San Bernardino,
from San Bernardino to Texas.
Distrito 4140. Entonces el chofer traía chofer gubernamental. Del otro lado venía mi presidente, presidente del Rotario de Guadalajara.
This is my president.
Era una empresa.
Oye, pero vas más rápido que nosotros, no le haces.
Un reto que íbamos a llevar más.
Dale, nosotros vamos a nuestro paso.
Un camión 1975.
It was a truck from 1975. And it had a lot of movement.
Ahí vamos ya.
Empezamos a salir de lo que es California.
And that's when we started to leave California.
El primer reto.
And this is when the first challenge started.
Pone el camión.
The truck just went off. It's a truck that was just standby for a long time. And we're in the middle of the desert. And we just saw balls and balls of sand, those balls that you see in the desert.
De repente no prende el camión.
The truck didn't start it. And I like this phrase that says, the more important people, you don't look for them. Life present them to you. In that moment, there were some guys from Mexico, gardeners, that were 5 away from there. And they helped us to start the truck so we could just continue our trip. This was like 12 hours.
De 122 grados Fahrenheit.
120 Fahrenheit, that was the temperature in that moment. And we have to stop continuously where we could in the gas stations during our trip to just have those drinks. We had to put one in the back on the fire truck to heat us up. We have to hydrate a lot because the fire truck was so old that it didn't have air conditioner. So it was a big challenge to have to cross the desert of Arizona without air conditioner at 122 Fahrenheit. In Tucson, there was a big challenge. One of the pipes of the diesel, it broke. And the fire truck just stopped between Marana and Tucson.
4 o 5 de la mañana.
4 or 5 in the morning, the president of our club and myself, we were thinking, what do we do? We're in the middle of nowhere. We walked 2 kilometers away. A guy just picked us up and took us to the gas station, just leaving the fire truck abandoned in the middle of the road. We stopped there in the middle of the night, and I started to looking for a hotel. And we found a hotel in an Indian Reserve hotel, a casino. We just slept there, and we were thinking, we'll see what we do tomorrow. We arrived there. The person that was with me, we slept a little bit, we rested a little bit, we just took a shower. And before we had breakfast, there was a casino. We took a $20 bill. We just gave it to the machine. We just pulled it out 2 times. We pulled, and there was this big sound. A big sound from the machine. We won the prize. And the owners of the casino came here, and they gave us $1,800. As a casualty, it was the same amount that were charged by the mechanics the next day. $1,800. And that's how the magic was presented of Rotary. When you're doing a big thing, a good cause, without any benefit for us, but life just has its way. And the people arrives, the good people that needs to be there. So we pay that repair, and here is the time we arrived. The before and after. That was the fire truck, the one in the left, the one that has a community, and in the right,
llegar ahí a
That's the
Etzatlán.
one that we took away to Jalisco.
Bonito de toda esta historia,
The beautiful thing about this, we've passed heat, hunger,
algunos
even
momentos,
fear a little bit in the dark of the desert.
llegando el camión,
When we arrived there,
siguiente hubo un
the
incendio.
next week, there was a fire in a property in that town, and that truck saved one complete family. All the things that we do, all the things that we did
Que la magia de Rotary
made that the magic of Rotary appear in that town. And you will ask, what does this mean? What does it mean here with polio?
Gracias a esta labor,
Thank you to this,
convenios
we
con el
managed to have alliances with the government of Guadalajara, which is a big city.
Que se celebra la
So the
erradicación.
day polio is celebrated,
Pudiéramos
we could
iluminar los
illuminate the
monumentos,
principal monuments of our city. And
lograr
that's how we managed
salvar
to
una
do
vida,
an activity, save a life,
ser hombres de acciones,
be men of action,
impactar y que la gente
and made an impact and made people ask what is Rotary about and what is end polio now. Thank you so much. And big hugs to everyone.
de Guadalajara,
Big
Jalisco.
hugs from Guadalajara, Jalisco.
Hello again, everybody. I am here just to show you a little bit of history. As you know, as we do this, there are some tools of polio that we really want them to be part of history. First, a single crutch that a lot of children can and put their lives into this to survive and be able to get through. This one, for some reason, as you can tell, it's almost my size, but it's actually a child's size. For those of you that know me, you know that this is almost my size. But imagine a life of a child that has a bright future living with this. So we just want to make sure that you know what we are doing this. And I believe that this is the most impactful of all of them, because this one actually depicts what the tools were for children growing up. And these are children that survive the disease. Imagine your child plug into this 24/7, or at least, as many hours of the day as possible. So this is what, unfortunately, the life of someone was. So I invite you to please go to the link and help us out to ending this. As we don't want to see this happening again, ever again in our lives or in the lives of our children. So we want to do this. So thank you. Remember these artifacts that are not the best.
We are visiting Colombia, and the flavor of the country is about to sound. With us is the past district governors from District 4271, Sonia Uribe and Alberto Lodoña from Medellin. There is an amazing story they're going to share with us about the efforts to help the Rotary Foundation and the children of Colombia. Let's welcome past district governors Sonia and Alberto Lodoño.
Un saludo muy especial a nuestro
Hello,
amigo.
everyone.
Por
A
esa
big,
labor
big hug to Jose for all the things that he's doing. And
Jim, que está con
to
todos.
John, Jim, that is with every one of you. Today, we want to say a big hi to you, Albert and Sonia, a good passionate about Rotary. And what we say, we come in a package of two. That's right, 2 for 1.
Soy directora de una fundación.
I'm a
Mónica Uribe,
director
una
of a
fundación que
foundation, A Gift for Love.
La Fundación Mónica Uribe por Amor es la única institución en Colombia que atiende exclusivamente espina bífida. A nuestra fundación llegan madres gestantes y tenemos ya adultos. Lo más importante que buscamos con las personas que nos llegan es que tengan un desarrollo integral y con ellos buscamos dos cosas importantes, que sean seres autónomos e incluidos socialmente.
Me identifico plenamente
I
porque la
identify with
espina
this
como la polio también se
because
podría.
as polio as this, they could prevent it. This is my job in the only institution in Colombia that works with people with disabilities.
Pues, hoy por hoy tenemos
Today,
más de 300
we have more than 390 kids
en todo
with
Colombia.
spinal disability in all Colombia.
Ellos
What
que
do we
hayan
want from them?
e
That they have
inclusión,
autonomy and in social inclusion,
donde todos ellos
where
logren
every
cumplir
one of them, they can
donde
achieve their dream.
logremos
When we all together, we can make children happy,
empoderados de su
kids that they're empowered with their own disability. That's what we're looking for in our foundation. But when Jose was telling me, you have to tell us a little bit what we do. And that's what makes my heart so good. I want to talk about to make empowerment in people,
Y
where
hoy,
we can do something
después de
in this
presentar,
situation.
creamos algo
Alberto and I, we made this thing. It's called the Zoo of Love. I want to share a little bit about this. And this is how Rotary comes in hand.
Así es, Rotary, nosotros cambiamos vidas.
That's Rotary. We change lives.
Presidente que
Our
está
past president and I, that is with you all. He had the pleasure
y
to
Ana
have
es el-
Anna in his house. And Anna was famous because it was in hands of John Jem
Corina, también estuvo
and
en
also in the hands of Karina, and also in the hands of the park president Barry, in the hands of Mark Maloney.
Holger y
But when
sus
we saw Holger and Suzanne, they had the privilege of having them more in their hands. And also with their president, Jennifer Jones.
se enamoran nuestros
Everyone
hijos.
that takes it, they fall in love with it. And Rotary International.
Y aquí es un homenaje a dos
This is an homage to the past presidents of our zones that they are not here with us anymore. Frank Delling and Luis Vicente Gay,
que eran enamorados
presidents that were in love of this.
también.
But
Tiene
what
tres
is this? It has three main objectives. The first one, public image. We have the logo for Rotary in different parts, 4 parts. We're going to tell you a little bit about this. This is Christy, which is a frog, a Tito monkey, and Anna giraffe. They have this shirt with the logo of Rotary and with the logo of End Polio now in the back. All of them.
Zorrito
And I'll
está-
tell you a little bit about Savi, Nico, and Santi.
Por ejemplo,
And they
en este
have a
caso,
label.
I will be always be close to you. I will be your company. Porque es donado a los niños del hospital. Y en
Because
el
it's donated to the kids of the hospital. And from the other side, it says that it's anti-allergic.
viajado por
And these
todo
animals have traveled throughout Europe, Africa, Asia, America, and Oceania, filling out the Rotary logo and End Polio now. throughout many countries.
Aquí podrán ver cómo
As you can see in these pictures, Tito was in the Pisa Tower, it was in India, Anna was in the Golden Gates, Tito was in the Eiffel Tower, and he was throughout to the gondolas of Venice. As we see, Christie was opening the meetings of Rotary, Tito was in the backpacks of Rotary, and Alemania, and they were flying throughout a plane. This is the image and the creativity of it. As you see, you can see they like the beaches. They like to refresh themselves. They love the summer. That's the Zoo of Love, traveling around the hands of any Rotarians. This is a cute story that was in Instagram. Anna went to Nairobi to look for her real parents. And guess what happened? Anna Nairobi found her real parents. And that's how Rotary International in Instagram published that. Who went to Nairobi? I don't know, a Rotarian, and fell in love with the zoo. The second objective, the Zoo of Love bring love from the hand of every Rotarian through each doll to hospitalized children. We make a child happy through our Rotary. As you can see, Tito gave love to this little girl that was getting up from her bed to receive love. As you see, Christy here is getting this little girl excited in the hospital. And you see these little kids just hug them. We found great stories of children that are hospitalized and they get happy when they see these little animals. And there was this kid that was crying and crying and had Christy in his arms. And when he held that Christy, he was so happy. That's Christy, the love of a Rotarian. He's Johan from Honduras. And asked him, why are you a Rotarian? And he was telling him that Tito is his best friend now. As you see, this kid was asking a little bit about Rotary when he saw this little shirt, and he's his companion now. This kid has 7 surgeries, heart surgeries, and he gave him joy with the Zoo of Love. But this little girl, I thought she was really old, but she's 15 with cancer. And when she received Christy, she hugged her and said, thank you so much. From that on, I will not sleep alone. I will have someone to hug at night. And this is how Vicky from Venezuela said, thank you, because Tito will always hug me during my chemotherapies and I will not be alone. That's the power of the Zoo of Love. President Barry Racine mentioned that the Zoo of Love is one of the projects that had the most impact in him, because social impact, public image, and the contribution to polio. And that's how him and Esther visited a lot of hospitals during Colombia to spread the Zoo of Love. And the third objective, and not the least important, when you buy an animal from the Love Zoo, you make a donation to polio and save 5 children from polio. From our slogan is make a child happy today, save 5 from polio. Each Rotarian from any part of the world, they have to contribute $30 each year. You do it, you too. I hope you do. That we all donate $30 to polio. And if we buy an animal from the Zoo of Love, we done it. We enjoy to visit the kids of the hospital, give him an animal from the Zoo of Love, and receive money from it. We have already gave $13,511 to kids in hospitals. We have received $202,665 to polio, and we have saved 16,555 kids throughout the Zoo of Love. I invite you all Rotarians, all you people from Utah and Rotarian, that join us, that let your imagination away. But our responsibility, if we have the logo of Rotary, we have to contribute it to polio, because this is This is our objective, to eradicate polio. This is our contacts. If you need anything, we will gladly be answering your question from your house, from your office, but we take joy to any kid in a hospital that it has polio. This is the campaign of the Zoo of Love. Thank you so much. To Jose, a big hugs to everyone. Thank you for the invitation. And to our past president, John Germ. Thank you all.
When a crisis hits, we look for solutions and react to the challenge of the moment. Today, that's COVID-19. And as the world races to find a vaccine, the polio eradication infrastructure is playing a critical role in protecting communities from the pandemic. It might seem invisible, but it's a vast disease-fighting toolkit that surveils for traces of the polio virus and tests thousands of samples every year, and focuses critical resources through hubs and emergency operation centers, maintains a sophisticated logistics network to safely deliver vaccine, and trains health workers to inform the community of the importance of immunizing children. Now, Rotary and its partners are using this polio infrastructure to also help respond to the COVID-19 pandemic. Surveillance is a cornerstone of the polio eradication effort. In Ethiopia, community volunteers are now reporting suspected COVID-19 cases. And community health workers conduct house-to-house visits to identify suspected cases. Knowledge and information hubs like emergency operation centers are central to polio eradication activities in Pakistan, Afghanistan, and Nigeria. They are now also used as coordination centers for COVID-19 response, where polio partners develop plans, analyze data, and quickly share information, all in a centralized location. In Benin, teams created a national interactive dashboard, tracing contacts, mapping cases, and managing data. In Pakistan, Rotary's polio resource centers offer COVID-19 training for health workers, and one center serves as a testing site for the community. Across regions, the logistics network used to distribute polio vaccines is now essential in getting personal protective equipment to remote areas. In Pakistan, trained staff have collected thousands of COVID-19 samples. And teaming with UNICEF, Rotary distributed more than 3 million bars of soap to households in vulnerable areas of Afghanistan. Because good hygiene protects against polio and COVID-19. This infrastructure relies on the trusted voices of community influencers. The relationships they build ensure accurate health information protects the community against polio. In Afghanistan, 70,000 of them have been trained by the polio program. Now hundreds of thousands of households have access to critical polio and COVID-19 prevention information. Rotary and our partners built an infrastructure that is now addressing the largest public health crisis in a generation. We should be proud of this contribution. And eventually, when planes, boats, trains, and cars carry people around the world and viruses travel with them, this infrastructure will live on to tackle public health priorities and ensure a polio-free world. Your ongoing support for polio eradication will leave behind this everlasting legacy for decades to come.
It is time now to visit with a young man that has worked for a few years in making a difference in the world of Rotaract. Ignacio Gonzalez is studying law and is one of the 2 Rotaractors in the world that for the first time in Rotary history has been recognized with the service above self. He is a member of the Melbourne International Convention Committee in Rotaract, and he is also the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee Chair for District 4355 in Chile. Welcome to the program, Ignacio. The stage is all yours.
Thank you so much, my dear friend. I'm so happy to be here with you. We have a beautiful spring day here in Chile. We are just starting better time, so I'm so glad to join to you in this important event, not only for your country, your district, for all the world. Polio is just not only our cause, it's our commitment with the better future for the society. And in this commitment, rural actors and younger leaders, we have so much to do. I just want to share with you some of my experience developing activities and fundraising events for polio here in Chile that I'm pretty sure the impact that we generate here in my city can increase the activities that Rotarians and Rotaractors doing to the world because of eradication of polio. Now, in these times, Rotaractors are not the future. We are the present, an active present of Rotary, and we are here to serve. And the best way that we can serve younger leaders is with you, with the Rotarians. And we can do amazing things together. Rotaractors and Rotarians are partners in service, and we can do different ideas and projects. And the most important strategy that we can generate here is mentoring together, is generating activities with creativity, with fresh perspective that Rotaractors can give to you, and especially understanding that we can use and managing really wisely social media and inviting the society to join to this polio eradication. In my Rotary Club, every year we organize fundraising event to send money for the polio fund. And something fun about that is every year we are generating more and more amount of money. So Rotaractors are really excited every year to organize something different and with a huge impact. Some years ago, we organized, for example, dance class, Zumba class, and of course, all the money that we raise, we donate to the polio fund. Other years, we organize raffles, and we, get some award with my Rotary Sponsor Club, and we raise a huge quantity of money. But a project that I really love is this. We create like silicone bracelets for selling, and 100% of the fundraising we donate to the polio fund. We raised more than $1,000, and we feel so proud and so happy to organize this kind of activity. I really encourage you that you need to work in together. You need to use different strategies, as I mentioned, to increase the participation together. The mentorship is sharing. So we need to join the forces and organizing other ideas. And in that way, I think our impact, not only with the money that we can generate, especially with the sensibilization of the society about why polio is important and why we can change the future to thousands of children in the world is so important. Chile eradicated polio many years ago, so it's not easy to motivate people to join to our polio activity. But in that way, the experience of Rotarians and the experience of Rotaractors and the experience of other organizations that can help us is amazing, because we can touch the heart of thousands of people. And I'm pretty sure that these kind of activities that we are right now are so important for that. Finally, I want to share with you that this year, my Rotary Club with the Rotary Sponsor Club organizing reusable bottle for polio. We are creating a reusable bottle that 100% of the fundraising we are going to donate to the polio fund. So we really want to do it, and with so much passion, because since 2 or 3 years ago, my Rotary Club is the only Rotary Club in all Latin America who donate money for the polio fund. So thank you so much for the opportunity to talk with you. I just want to say these kind of activities touch my heart because it's so important for join together and create a better world. And I just want to congratulate the district and, of course, the district governor who lead this amazing idea. And I'm pretty sure, and you come with our support from Chile of the quantity of money that you are raising. So thank you so much for the time. And I'm pretty sure these kind of activities can imagine a better world and a better society.
Thanks, Ignacio. That was words of wisdom and so beautifully put. We appreciate it. Now it's time for our most recent update for donations. We are just under $6,000, Krista.
Fantastic.
So awesome, so amazing. And please remember, you still have until the end of the month to give. So please share the link, share with your friends and your families, and give generously.
The virus doesn't know where the Pakistan finishes and where the Afghanistan starts. For Pakistan and Afghanistan, the whole area is the same for the virus. So we have to work together. We have to make sure that we synergize on the vaccination of children which are coming from the other sides.
We are focusing on vaccinating the moving population, whether it is Afghani, whether it is Pakistani, those.
The idea is that all the partners and the government, all of them sit as a one team under one roof at one place.
तमाम पार्टनर्स जो हैं इकट्ठे होते हैं और डेली 2 आवर्स की मीटिंग होती है। तो वहाँ रोटरी इंटरनेशनल की कंट्रीब्यूशन, रोटरी इंटरनेशनल की एज पोलियो के लिए क्या क्या एफर्ट्स हैं, तो मैं वो अपने तमाम एक्सपीरियंसेस उनसे शेयर करती थी। तो और इनको आप गाइड कर सकते हैं। मेरा एंड आपका क्या नाम है?
This GPI strategy, it has been developed with the intensive consultation across the partners, with the countries, with the different stakeholders.
अस्सलाम वालेकुम। इधर कोई बच्चा रहता है पोलियो वाला?
It has a lot of emphasis on community engagement, which is one important component, and we have seen that in some parts of these 2 endemic countries, vaccine acceptance has become one of the key issues.
लेडी हेल्थ वर्कर की रीच घर तक होती है और वो ख़वातीन से डायरेक्ट उनकी कम्युनिकेशन होती है, उसका उनके साथ लाइजॉन डेवलप हो चुका है, जिसकी वजह से पूरी फैमिली उस पर ट्रस्ट करती है।
It is important for us to achieve polio eradication goal by not just reaching with the polio doses through supplementary immunization activities, but also playing a catalytic role to enhance broader health services.
We go to those people not only for the polio drops, but we go to them with other services. We are also making health camps in those areas where there is higher number of refusers.
मेरी इनर सेटिस्फेक्शन मुझे हुई है आज का हेल्थ कैम्प करके कि मैंने उस कम्युनिटी को एड्रेस किया जो कि 70% अफ़गान कम्युनिटी थी, 20% जो है वो पाकिस्तान में थी। जब आप किसी इलाके में जाके कम्युनिटी को सर्विसेज देते हैं तो वो कहते हैं कि ये तो हमारे घर आके हमें हमारी हेल्थ के बारे में आके बता रहे हैं। जब आप उनके घर पे जाते हैं तो ये हमारी वैल्यूज़ हैं, वो रिस्पेक्ट देते हैं, वो हमारी बात गौर से सुनते हैं और फिर वो कहते हैं कि ये तो हमारी बेहतरी के लिए है। अब तो हम बहुत क्लोज हैं। पाकिस्तान और अफ़गानिस्तान में अब एक केस है। ये एक बहुत बड़ी अचीवमेंट है कि एक ख्वाब पूरा होने जा रहा है हम रोटेरियंस का
We invite our district governor, Jose Velasco, and President John Germ to the stage.
Thank you, Suzanne. Well, John, looks like we're on the almost ending of the program, but here is the most important part of the day. In order for us to say goodbye to everybody, I have a few questions for you that I would like to clarify. First of all, we know that
you're going to clarify the question?
I will clarify the question so that you can understand my Spanglish. But here it is. For many years, we know that the eradication is important. But what will it take for all of us to accomplish this?
It will take us to continue with our dedication. We've been doing this since 1979. We will not quit until we've eradicated all of polio. It takes our partnership to continue. We have to meet our strategic plan by 2023 with no viruses, 2026 eradication.
There you go.
It takes money.
Yeah.
It costs us between $950 million to $1 billion a year to eradicate a virus that right now is only endemic in 2 countries, and that's Afghanistan and Pakistan. We do have the wild virus that is circulating mostly in the Africa area.
Yeah.
So we've got that. We've got a new vaccine that we're working with that. We've got to keep our research going. We've got to keep our fundraising going. And I think it's important for Rotarians to understand that every dime counts. You know, if we don't reach $50 million, what that costs us is for every dollar we're short of reaching 50, we lose $3.
Yeah.
Each vaccine costs 14 cents for the vaccine. Then you've got the labor of finding the children and distributing it and everything. But just think of the children that we're going to be missing if we don't do it. And Jose, it's not just about the money.
Yeah, no.
It's what the money can do.
See, and I think that is the key that a lot of us need to comprehend, because we know that we can ask, but we don't understand what the reach out of that dollar is. Now, through your experience, what can you tell us about the efforts and the challenges? Because we know that we have challenges in Afghanistan and Pakistan. But other than that area, what have been other challenges around the globe?
Well, there's challenges every day. And I look at it as challenge as an opportunity. So we have to use those opportunities. You know, COVID taught us a lot of lessons. We couldn't reach all the children, for example. So we couldn't go door to door because of spreading the potential spreading COVID.
Mm-hmm.
We have to go door to door. We mark the door with an N, a number, the times have been there. It's just the opportunity that we have to save a child. Pandemic, that's a problem.
Yeah.
If we let it be a problem.
Yeah.
The economy, that is a challenge if we let it be a challenge.
Mm-hmm.
We can always reach a little deeper. We can always say, yes, this is important. You know, Rotary says this is our top priority program. And yet we only have about 12% of Rotarians that contribute anything to this program. We need to reach out to every member and say, you can do something.
Yeah.
And that something can help save a child.
That's what I think is more important. And you know, as we keep thinking that it's just paying for vaccines, there is a lot more to it, as we saw in the video. What do you think is, and it sounds like a broken record, but what do you think is the largest obstacle for all of us now and in the near future?
The largest obstacle now and in the near future is getting to every child. In Afghanistan, there's about 400,000 children, between 400 and 500,000 children that we're not able to reach. It's being able to convince people that vaccines do help save lives. So the challenge, reaching the children. You're only going to do that, especially in Africa, Pakistan, Afghanistan, by going door to door and by the governments working with us, WHO, UNICEF, working to say it is important that we reach every child. There would not be a case in New York right now if that individual had been vaccinated, in my opinion.
Yeah.
They got the virus because they weren't vaccinated.
There you go.
The same area had 300 something cases of smallpox 3 years ago because they weren't vaccinated.
Oh.
Vaccinations is the key. It's simple to do with 2 drops. Then you switch to the injectable and we eradicate polio.
It's pretty much as simple as can be. At the same time, it's so difficult as the human race. Now, my last question, and I think for everybody in our audience, at the end of the day, is your advice for Rotarians and Rotaractors. What should we do, especially for those difficult Rotarians and Rotaractors that now in life we know are skeptical about this campaign? How do you help them think about that?
Let's don't forget the interactors too.
There you go. That's another issue. Yeah.
The young people. Social media can help.
Yes.
You have to walk the walk and talk the talk. Get yourself vaccinated. Be an example. Saying, I got vaccinated. Will you get vaccinated? Join me in trying to eradicate polio because we owe it to the children.
Okay. I think that I do owe an apology to the interactors of the world because they do count. And I remember well my daughter taking me to all these projects for the Pinky Polio.
Right.
You know, and that was, a lot of people didn't understand why was that important. But as we see it in the videos, all of that, you know, is. But let me now visit with some friends over here. Please come. You know, and I think at the end of the time today, we are actually bringing not only the last number so far. I think we were close to $7,000. You know, here, although we know
without the Gates match. So
that is true.
So that's $21,000.
Yeah, and on top of that, John, there are some other things that are processing from Colombia, Mexico.
Well, I thought you were going to match all this.
I'm going to match in altitude or height. But thank you for this, because there's no way we can thank you enough. And I know that you have everything you can desire in the world, but there are some articles over here from local Park City that we want to show to you. You know, we have an example of the different salts, a little thing for the emergencies, you know, a little bit of candy, rock candy from Park City, and a little bit of toys that I think your great grandkids will share.
Yeah, sure
so
will.
A remembrance of the lack of snow today, but the snow for tomorrow. So, John, thank you enough for coming with us.
Well, thank you. It's my pleasure. But let's thank these 2 lovely ladies for doing this and you for putting it together. Let's thank the TV station.
Yes.
Because, you know, Park City TV.
Yes.
And little Miss Stephanie.
So,
honestly, yes.
I've always said it's a team that makes a difference.
Yes.
Together, everyone achieves more.
Yeah.
So let's continue with this team.
Yes. So Park City TV, thank you so much for your kind in hosting our event, surpassing all the challenges. Thank you to Japan, England, you know, Chile, Colombia, and Mexico for being with us, and for all of us here in the United States, and especially here in District 5420 in Utah. These ladies and the team behind the scenes, like Stephanie and Dean and Dave, you know, thank you so much. And over there in southern Mexico, there is a lady that is a Rotoractor that we owe a debt of gratitude for her translating, services. Arca, we owe you once again, and we hope to visit you in the future. Thank you again. Thank you to all for being with us. We hope that you continue giving generously and help us save more children's lives. With this, we end our program, and we'd like to say thank you to all of you again. Have a great day.